My name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
Hi, I'm Bob McLeod, and you're watching Omni X-Men.
What is up, gang? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, it is another evening of Omni X-Men. We are breaking down Uncanny X-Men 206 in the long marathon that we've been doing over the last 5 plus now 6 years, and we are on volume 5 of the Uncanny X-Men run from Chris Claremont's storytelling. Appreciate everybody coming in. If you're watching the replay, take some time, smash that like button. We'll really appreciate it. We got a great issue to be talking about tonight. And of course, it's not just me. It is my co-host and good friend, John from John's Comics with Kids. John.
Hey,
Jim Lee. Whoa.
I just booked you through season 16 by purchasing the final Claremont Omnibus. So I'm just saying lock up.
Love it. I love it.
Lock it up.
Wait, dude, you gotta show the signature.
Yes, I did forget.
John's got a fancy one.
I did. I purchased this pre-signed Claremont. If you can read that says Chris Claremont, I suppose. I can see a C and a T, and that's about all I see.
It's good that you got a pre-signed because we all know that he's been avoiding you for quite some time. So
he really does dodge me. The year I make it to Terrificon will be the year he skips that con.
Yeah.
I've done that one enough.
I can skip a year. How you doing, John? How's it going?
I'm doing well. Excited to do a little storm maybe tonight. Get into some storm. We've had a Wolverine one last week, and we'll kind of have a Wolverine one next week. So this is a little break between.
Love it. I want to clarify now with everybody. Bear with me. I've still been dealing with this kind of a cough. I don't know. It's been for like 3+ weeks now. I don't know what's going on, but I feel fine otherwise. So bear with me if I'm try not to cough in anybody's ear here. I'll mute myself, but it'll be an interesting night. Hey, we do have an awesome guest with us tonight, John, and somebody who
one of the original Omni X-Men.
Yep, running the show with us since day one. Big fan of his. He's just a great friend, great X-Men mutant brother, and of course, we're talking about our good friend Chet from Chet at Night. What up, Chet?
Oh, boys. Been a very long time. It's good to be back. Oh, yeah.
Dude, good to see you, my friend. Right before baseball season. Right before us become enemies, we're still friends.
we can talk up until midnight tonight.
Yeah. It's all the hands off, yeah.
And if there are any Dodgers fans here, we don't know them.
That's right.
Yeah.
He knows. He's not.
No, I'm an Angels fan.
He's a sports ball guy. John's more.
My man got stuck on the wrong side of town.
Happens. Well, we appreciate you being with us, Chet, as always. Always hanging out in the chat. Always being with us, season in and season out, and dropping knowledge. If people are not following Chet, make sure you do so. I put his link down in the description below. Hit him up. Guy's got an impressive collection that we've seen a majority of throughout the years, and hopefully we'll see again at some point.
Wait, I have something. So since John presented something, I'll present something too. This has popped up in my collection. I don't know how, where, when I bought it, whatever. Ooh. But it does have.
Is that an Alex Ross cover?
It's also an Alex Ross SIG.
Oh, dang.
Sick.
This one's got designs on going places to get tuxedoed and yellowed up.
Nice.
And came with a certificate as well.
Very nice. Did you meet Alex Ross?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I never met Stan, and I never met Alex Ross. I've met Chris Claremont, Joe Gaella, Bob Layton, Starling. Thanks to Brandon, I met Bob McLeod and Jim Shooter. May he rest in peace. But I've met some really stunning names. Jim Lee, who I still have a picture with from 2011. Only time I ever met him. Yeah. So if you're gonna meet your heroes, meet them once, and that'll always be good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. John, you'll have to get that omnibus signed by Jim Lee next.
Nobody's gonna pay that money. Come on, that's stupid money. That is Jim Lee money. Nobody wants to pay that Jim Lee money.
What is he charging?
I think he's over $100 these days.
He's definitely over 100. Yeah,
that's just some stupid money. That's some Frank Miller money.
You gotta be balling, right?
No.
We'll start a GoFundMe for John and his
balling while your art starts crawling.
Right. I've seen Jim Lee from afar as I walk around the con, and it's like that's good enough. That's good.
There you go. That's right.
There he is.
It's like deep.
All right, that's good enough.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that to
counts.
him and Liefeld and a few others. Yeah.
You guys are basically besties. So, of course, I want to remind everybody to make sure you are also following John over on his channel, because we will be back over on his channel next Tuesday, 9:00 Eastern, as we've been continuing to bounce back and forth on each other's channel here for Omni X-Men. So sub up to him. And then I also want to give a shout out to our featured artist of the season, the Fraim brothers. I put their link in the description below, but they have a really amazing commission piece that we'll be giving away thanks to what they had put together. So as a gift from John and I to the participants in our chat day in and day out, of course, you can try to get your name on the wheel for the end of the season. We'll be giving that away in June, which is coming up. It's kind of scary to think.
Very fast.
Right through March here. But time flies. So yeah, definitely go check them out as well. And of course, stick around after the show, because we will be doing trivia, and that's how you get on our board in order to have a chance to win said giveaways. And of course, we'll have plenty of other stuff to give away.
And tonight I can't spell anybody into the wrong answer.
You cannot.
That's that's Tony's job.
But Chet, you get to pick some other people to get into the raffle tonight if they can make you laugh. So
that's right. I forgot about that segment.
Be ready for that. Be ready for that.
So no making fun of Cyclops tonight, Chat. Be careful.
Yeah, Chat's got to be friendly to play to Chet. You got to play to Chet's judgment. So with that said, let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll get into tonight's issue. Scrolling up here for a second, we got Ruben Guzman hanging out first. Cowabunga, my friend, good to see you as always. Johnny
I should be
Boy,
seeing him this weekend at WonderCon here in Anaheim. So
nice. Oh man, I'm gonna see more pictures. I'll be all jealous. That's cool though. Yeah, should be a good show. We got our guy Rod the Rican in the house. What is going on, Rod? Appreciate you, brother. Yes, please smash that like button if you haven't already. There he is. Tony, Old Wolf 65 in the house as well. This is true. It's all his fault, as usual. We're going to move on, though. Adam, make stuff up. What is going on, Adam?
Big Adam.
Nice, my friend. We got Paul Big O in the house. What is up?
Paul?
Good to see you. We also have our good friend Candace Barbosa in the chat. What is going on, Candace? I don't know. Everybody's making jokes in here. There he is, Jackson Roy Kirk in the house. Good, John.
Here we go.
Watch it. I'm laughing at Super Demon Wizards in the chat.
No raffle spot for him. I was going to grant him like a free one.
Aaron, there you are, my friend. Good to see you, brother. Hey, I want to give a shout out to this guy right here, Aaron. We have on the screen. So he's been running an incredibly fun and entertaining hashtag challenge over on Instagram this whole month for March Madness. He does it every year. This year's theme are the ladies. For Women's History Month, we had voted on top 32 or 36 of our favorite characters, female characters, and we've been having them go head to head to see who the favorite is, and you get to vote by sharing books, your favorite covers, your favorite books of those characters each and every day. So if you've seen me posting like a psycho this month, it's because of Aaron right here. So but Aaron, dude, we appreciate you, man, for running that whole thing.
Apologies for missing. I wasn't around.
No, Chet, dude, that's all right, man. We're gonna bring you in. We're gonna need you in a couple days, so I'll call you next time to remind you.
And there's less than 3 hours left to post comics featuring Rogue today. Today is Rogue. So if you've got some Rogue covers that you want to share, snap some photos, tag Super Demon Wizard, and let's see if Rogue can defeat Sue Storm.
Yes. Sue's been on fire too from her last challenge.
Right.
So yeah, if you guys are not participating, go check it out. Go tag Super Demon Wizard over on Instagram. Use his hashtag. Post some books per the day that we're voting on each of these characters. If you want to have some fun, it's been a lot of fun. So, all right, let's get into this here. We got let me show my screen here. Of course, we got Uncanny X-Men 206 coming off of another amazing issue in 205. With Paul Windsor-Smith and Wolverine. So interesting to dive into this one. Let's talk about the cover first and foremost. John, gonna pass it to you first. What were your thoughts as you look at this cover?
I hate this cover. It's just so boring. I mean, I just the blob, it's not working for me. I do like the way that he draws Colossus here. That works for me at the bottom. Maybe I'm griping about Storm being like a limp doll there, having to be dragged out of a pit in the ground. I don't know what Rogue is doing. Like Rogue should not be falling. You fly. Like, I don't know what the falling is. Just fly. Like,
she's bouncing. She's bouncing off the belly. That's what's happening.
Is okay, maybe. Sure.
That's
yeah, it's way too much blob for me.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And the X-Men characters are kind of like hard to find. You're kind of like, where's Waldoing a lot of these characters? So I don't necessarily love this drawing a ton.
Fair. I think that's fair. Chet, what about you? What are your thoughts on this JR?
I feel like it's, you know me, I usually say it just like this. It looks half-assed. Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's not a whole lot of detail in these character drawings. It's a lot of empty, just figures. That's supposed to be a piece of concrete to hold up the blob?
Basically.
Or is it steel? What's his name? Fred Durst? Fred, what? I don't care. The FF on his shirt stands for Fat Freddy.
There it is.
That's the only thing I could think. His name is Fred Dukes. There it is. I'm not feeling this cover.
And there's so many times I looked at it. It was like, why are there two Kitty Prides on this cover? Two rogues on this cover.
I thought it was two rogues. The one at the bottom, and then I was like, but there's no stripe. But I get you. It's not a very definitive cover. It rates overall about a 4 on my out of 10 meter. I call the cover a fail.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's fair. Roy Kirk says, from banger art to what the fuck is this? Yeah.
Yep.
Wanger art.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but look, hey, we've talked about this before with JR. This is certainly, I mean, he's clearly, for me, it's been a roller coaster generally with him, and there are moments where I do appreciate his work, and unfortunately, this is not one of those moments. Because I agree, I don't really care for this cover. Don't think it would necessarily pull me in per se. But we do get a cool corner box art, a lot of heads in there.
We're entering that.
My favorite part of the cover is
anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's keep this going then. So we start the issue off with this large sign. Freedom is a 4-letter word. You have Storm standing there. You have like graffiti on the side. There's garbage everywhere. She's clearly like in this back alleyway of some sort in the city, and you see this couple getting jumped by a group of gangsters that are they have nunchucks and blades and all sorts of stuff. And Storm, now we know she doesn't have her powers. She steps into play, basically warns them to leave the couple alone, and they insist on not. So she has to teach them a lesson. You get a lot of bangs, a lot of bunks, a couple of pacams and kadows. And next thing you know, she saves the day right on time for the police to come. And we also get introduced to that bottom right hand corner there to a Bree Morrell, someone who works for the government and essentially thanks Storm and recognizes the X-Men and appreciates their work and what they do, even though they're not always rooted for in the world. So she says, I hope you stay in San Francisco. And Storm introduces herself and says, and perhaps one day we will. So first thoughts here on this action-packed opening scene. John, I'll throw it to you.
I mean, it's all about the splash page. Like, that's such, we can rip on that cover all we want, but I have zero notes on this splash page. It's fantastic. I love the like street lights being also like the title. I love that the graffiti on the wall, the credits, the whole thing, gang. This page works to perfection for me. Yep. And I love everything about it, and it sets a mood so well. And it says, you open the book and she says, "Having a good time, boys." Like, I'm like, "You're talking to me? Is she talking to me? Like, is she saying this to me?" Like, of course, yes. I'm reading an X-Men book. I'm having a great time. So that opening bit is fantastic, and then of course the fight. We know she's been trained in a lot of different ways on street level fighting. growing up with living on the streets of Cairo and being a pickpocket and getting into little switchblade kind of fights, and then being trained by Wolverine in hand-to-hand combat and all of these kinds of things. She is not shocked by their numbers or their size or with weapons or anything. She's improvising weapons all over the place, and handles herself really, really well. I'm very entertained by this opening bit here, and I want to definitely highlight the inking because there's a lot of great use of shadow and light going on all of these pages. So it really does add this level of intensity to what's going on.
Yeah, great point, great call there. And I wanted to see, so John Romita, Dan Green is the artist, Glynis Oliver on coloring. So there must have been a combination there with Dan Green, but
Oliver, Oliver Green was in the
Glynis Oliver,
Dan Green,
and then
Dan Green I think is the finisher, like for Romita at this stage.
Good call there on that. The detail, the lighting. Chet, what about you? What were your thoughts as we dove into this?
I tend to think that Romita Jr. does spectacular work in shadows and like lighting. So that opening page with Storm standing there is really definitive, sets the mood.
Yeah.
The lighting, the Chinese lettering, and then on the far space, I guess that must be graffiti on a wall in terms of like the credits. Very well done and thought out. I like the debris on the ground. I like the wreckage behind her. It all looks, palpable. It looks good. Going into the scene, you get right into the action, so you know what's going on, who's being antagonized by whom, and what they're willing to do to continue their marauding. But they don't know this woman. We've seen Storm, and I guess within the last 25 issues of this, when she stabbed up Callisto, and she had that whole thing planned out. She's a serious hand-to-hand combat person. You got to figure, since what, 1975, she's been in the danger room with straight up killers like Wolverine. She ended up growing up to see Colossus end up taking lives. She's seen a lot, and ultimately, I believe there was a point where she ended up saying, "If we have to kill you, we will." So what extent she's always willing to go, and now she doesn't have powers. So I think a lot of what she's doing here speaks as to who exactly her character is, with or without the Omega level input.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. Don't forget, she also dined with Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And Rachel Dinners. So that's been all sorts of wildness, what she's lived through.
I'm getting a Rachel Dinners shirt because of you fools.
Yeah. I just have to point out my favorite panel, just other than the splash page, on these pages that we're looking at. I love the red panel at that bottom.
Yes.
She's got the wood, and she's like,
that's right where my computer is.
Oh yeah, it's like perfect, just a perfect shot. Look, we talked about this with JR. He always, the one thing I do really like and consistently appreciate is his artwork when it comes to drawing out fight scenes and showing the direction of how body movements are and things like that. I think he always has done a great job with that stuff. So we'll give him that credit too for that. And I see our good friend Sheena in the chat. What is going on, Sheena and Inja? Good to see you as always. All right, let's keep it going. So we flash over. So we're in San Francisco, as we've kind of established, and we jump over to scenes with in Corona Heights at the house of Jessica Drew and Lindsay McCabe. Jessica Drew used to be Spider-Woman. We're not quite sure where her story is. I know she was in a few other issues from Secret Wars in our season here, and things like that. So this is their house. It does note that the house is known to be haunted, or the reputation of these houses are haunted. Just a little side note there. Otherwise, we open the door and you immediately get Storm walking into a rock and roll Kitty Pryde with yet another outfit. She's wearing Storm stuff. She goes, "How do you like my outfit?" She says, "Is it okay for a date?" And you see Lindsay McCabe walking through the doorway here, and asking us, she said, "Kitty Pryde, will you have? You've got to be kidding me! Give me a break." She's always kind of giving her a hard time, at least with I guess her going on a date with this guy who walks in the door, David Ishima, who I don't know if I knew this character at this time. But he comes out to say, hey, I got tickets for Lila Cheney. She's got a gig here down in this club downtown. We wanted to take her out. So she's going on a friendly date with this guy, David, Kitty. And that's why she's all dressed up. And then of course, Storm, I love that scene.
Feeling it.
Yeah. The two of them down there, and Storm's kind of facing the background. She goes, if this girl did not already, or if I did not already have silver hair, that child would be the death of me. So in the meantime, you have in these middle pages here, Storm talking with Lindsay. You have Rachel, who is helping clean up, doing the dishes with Lindsay, and she's carrying the floating dishes as she's using her powers to do this. And of course, Rogue kind of saying, hey, be careful, don't drop that stuff. And she's like, hey, I've done this before. I've carried heavier stuff. Relax. And then meanwhile, Rogue and Colossus are kind of going through mail, and they get a postcard from the Summers house, where they are showing a picture of the new baby, essentially just checking in, making sure everything is good, and inviting them to maybe one day, since they're in San Francisco, to maybe make a trip up to Alaska. And Rogue thinks this is a great idea. However, when Rachel hears this, she is not having it. And in fact, she gets so upset about the idea of it that she drops everything. And as you can see, everything shatters. She gets into Rogue's face. Rogue flips back. And they're kind of having a funny time about it. They're kind of laughing. But at the same time, Rogue is throwing this massive fit. She's very frustrated. We know that she's been dealing with stuff for quite some time. The rest of the team knows that she's been dealing with this stuff as far as her past and being connected to to Cyclops the way she is, and how she doesn't want to say anything. She's been struggling with this, and these last couple of panels here, her in her bright purple pants, shows her kind of going back and forth with Rogue, and Rogue saying, "You gotta do something about this. You have to go talk to Cyclops. Let him know how you're feeling. Let him know the truth." And stop beating around the bush, because she's been hiding this for quite some time, and really she just can't get over it. So we've been seeing these struggles, but a lot going on here. Chet, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are your thoughts as we enter seeing Kitty Pryde and this little bit of drama here between Rachel and Rogue?
Well, in terms of like just Rachel flipping out, this was coming. She's done this before, and it's all based on her introducing herself to her dad and all that. And it doesn't go well. This time she's just flipping out. And I mean, Kitty going on this date, though, is funny with Storm, because Storm's just like, I don't want to hear it. Who is this guy? This guy's pissing me off. Yeah. Kitty's dressed up like she's gone. I don't want to see this. That's her kitten. That's exactly how she always refers to her. Yeah. So, that might be a little unsettling for Storm, but once Kitty's gone, this scene gets a little out of control, because Rachel doesn't know how to hold it together when it comes to talking about her father and meeting him. And it's the same thing over and over with her until she meets him. And I know that for later on in these issues, like right up to around 216, 17, around there, Rachel gets a little bit more burn, and you'll see her, I guess, come close to doing something like this a couple more times. But this part of the book made me want to see more, because I expected this to carry on a little longer, just the interacting between Rogue and Rachel, but it didn't get that far. So till the next scene, I guess, where they're actually in combat, I mean, we don't get this interaction again. So I guess it just goes on. So it's going to linger in Rachel's head until she actually meets Daddy.
Yep. Yeah. Which definitely been lingering. By the way, that chat's been great. Roy Kirk, don't just say Secret Wars. Say Secret Wars. Yeah.
But that's only when you're talking about the original. When you're talking about Secret Wars 2, you try to do it all lowercase.
Yeah, those pants. Hammer time.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, technically, I don't know how old Kitty is here. I imagine she's older. I mean, it's been
since 129
comic years.
They don't
about 15 and 16.
They don't age, obviously a year in the comics is not a year for the character. So that definitely is not an easy way to guess it.
Right.
But I do believe they said recently she was 15, if I'm not mistaken. I thought so. She's not
Has anybody
far
ever
off of
thought?
this.
Has anybody ever thought to ask how old Peter Parker is?
Nope.
He's been in college for a long time. That's all I know. He's like Tommy Boy.
Interning at the Bugle at 41.
He's got to drop out, man, and just move
Hey,
on.
man. A lot of people go to college for 10 years. They're called doctors. They're called doctors.
Peter Van Wilder.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just living that life.
I'm gonna just absolutely jump right in here.
Yeah, do it,
Jackson's
John.
right. These pages need a deep discussion on 80s fashion, gang. Look, I lived through all 10 years of the 80s, and it's all happening for you right here. Whether it's Kitty Pride, I am now an extra in Risky Business, whatever. Whether it's that gentleman, David Ishima coming in the door there with. It's not quite a mullet, but it's not far off, whatever that look is. The fact that he has the deepest of V-necks going on there with
the belt, the cummerbund.
I'm not to the pants yet, but you're right. The popped collar on the jacket with the shoulder pads, the pants all the way up to the, basically it looks like a sumo wrestler cummerbund, the necklace. He is really doing something there. But then you get into the kitchen. What's the flash dance sweater off the shoulder look that we got going on there? From Lindsay. We've got, of course, the iconic Storm 80s look going on. And then, the Punky Brewster overalls that Rachel is rocking here, along with that incredible ponytail that's like straight out of, I'm a Padawan learner. It's all just so happening here, gang. I can't get enough of the retro from this, and it's gonna be one of those love it or hate it eras. We're going to get a ton of this. You even saw it with the thugs that Storm beat the snot out of, like, and it's like you look at Rogue's hair and you look at Rachel's hair, and like side by side there, it is absolutely like Candace is saying, it's a vibe. And maybe you're here for it, and the skunk stripe is working for you, and you're a Padawan inside somewhere for yourself. But it's a tough journey. You just got to let it happen. It's a time and a place, and this is so like in that era. It is so much of a time and place. This is very
like
dated.
Duran.
Yes. It's like reading a early 70s Spider-Man issue where you're just like, is Spidey talking jive right now? Like what's going on in this book? And there's some of that same vibe happening here. So just wanted to discuss it a little bit.
This is great.
Worthwhile.
Ooh, and I forgot, like there's a fun reversal happening here too. Kitty Pride tries out her punk look and Storm don't like it. Storm tried out her punk look back in China or Japan. I mean, and Kitty don't like it. So there's a fun kind of thing here where both of them are maybe uncomfortable with the other person growing and evolving, and they're kind of dealing with that emotion.
Yep. Great points. I didn't really live through too much of the 80s, so I'm going to just take your guys' word for it.
You'll have to.
But I love it.
And throw all the hairspray in the garbage.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think she gets that mohawk to stand up so nice?
That's true.
She doesn't have static electricity at her whim anymore.
Yeah, or maybe she does. I don't know. Tonight there's a little glimpse of it. Let's keep it going. We get a quick flash over to the TWA Flight 707. And we pick up from where we left off from 204 just for a brief moment. Claremont sprinkling these seeds, and you get Amanda Sefton. She had just had a big fight with Nightcrawler. She is working right now. She had to go from the last time we saw her 2 issues ago. She had to leave to get on this plane, and so she's working on the flight. One of her coworkers checking in on her, but she's very much in deep thought, concerned about how she left things off with Nightcrawler. We saw that they got in the argument. We saw that Nightcrawler was very much in doubt of a lot of things, including being an X-Man, his religion, kind of his place in time with everything. He's been really thrown off with a lot of that, and even doubting if his love for her is real or not to some degree. Really, he kind of just said the wrong thing at the wrong time. But
she accused him of magic, I think.
But really, Yes, yeah. He said, "How do I not know that you're putting me under a spell?" So that clearly pissed her off as she went to leave. But of course, she cares for him. She loves him, and she says here, as the girl's checking on her, she says, "No, not to worry, girl. I'm indestructible." And then she says to herself, "That creep better be worth it." Once upon a time, he was. So we get that little glimpse there, and then we flash over to San Francisco again after the concert that Kitty and David are coming back from Lila Cheney. I'm a little disappointed. I thought we'd see Lila Cheney, but we didn't actually get to see her. Love any moments we get with her. But yeah, so as they're walking home, talking about the show, out of nowhere, this massive wave, essentially, or avalanche or earthquake, as they put it, of the ground beneath them, shakes and throws them and turns into this wave-like feature, and they go flying. Luckily, Kitty quick enough to think about her powers and be able to save David. David's just human, as they've confirmed, but she takes him with her, and they phase through this ground that's turned into a wave, this concrete. But of course, it's too late for some of the structures around it. This taxi goes flying into the neighbor's window right near the house that the team is in. And as they hear the bang, everybody comes running out. Colossus, Rogue, Storm, all of them come running out, and they run right into this web, this energy web of some sort. And of course, we see some of these freedom fighters that are standing outside. In this case, it happens to be Spiral with the 6 arms that we've met before. And then we have what looks to be Spider-Woman, who actually Spiral calls her Woman Spider at one point, but says, to bind them up. They're tying her, and Spider-Woman is kind of sharing in her own thoughts what she's going through. She's using her powers, but it's leaving her vulnerable. And between the two of them, Rogue and Colossus, that is, they say, "Hey, we got enough strength here. Let's try to pop this thing. Let's try to break this energy chain." And so they do. So that kind of throws Spider-Woman into a bit of a knockout. But I had some questions here because Spider-Woman is not the Spider-Woman that Jessica Drew once was, and all that other stuff. But anyways, John, I'll start with you. Thoughts here on Amanda Sefton and what she's going through, or anything with Kitty Pryde riding the wave?
I mean, I always want more Amanda Sefton. I'm down with this book. This particular issue does suffer a lot from skipping around to different places, and with the team kind of spread out across the U.S., it is the natural result of that problem. But it can get a little discombobulating. But this one worked for me. Then we go back, and time has jumped. We're after the party now, on the way back, and we're right into the action. If you had read Secret Wars Volume 1, you would have met this Spider-Woman. That's when she first appears.
Wow.
Number 7.
Issue number 7. Yep. So that would be this iteration, right? And yes, Jessica Drew at this point, as she mentions a little later, she's without her powers. Mm-hmm. She has given up that mantle and is kind of working as a PI, I think. And so this is the current Spider-Woman, and she's working with the Freedom Force. So bad, work decision for her. She's definitely on the wrong side of the law there. And yet again, we got another story where government is sending in masked soldiers to arrest citizens without warrants.
I believe. I'll keep my mouth shut until we get to that part.
It's fantasy, Chet. This isn't real. Comic books aren't political. But yes, definitely our heroes questioning a lot of this. And on top of which, and we kind of mentioned briefly, they saved San Francisco very, very recently, and so publicly that the police showed up and took Storm at her word that she was saving the day, and gave her a pat on the back and thanked her for rescuing the city. Like, they are like heroes in the city right now. So the fact that these guys have now shown up to arrest them, it's just read the room, gang. This is Spider-Woman making a bad political decision for herself.
Mixed with this crowd. Chet, what about you? What are your thoughts here on anything with Amanda Sefton, or the action that goes on?
As far as Amanda goes, I've always liked when she's been included. I remember when I read Annual 4.
Oh yeah.
Was that it? The Doctor Strange and
Yep.
And Margali, that explained a lot about who she was. So she's been in his life forever. She's been around to see him commit murder. She's been around to, help him recover from it. She knows what her mother has put him through based on that. So, and for her to be in love with him and everything, I kind of felt like, isn't that a little too close to home? Shouldn't you be like distancing yourself from all this drama? But no, they ended up together. And to read how she spoke to the other attendant on the plane when she said he was, that felt very final. You know what I mean? Like she would have done anything for him up until that point. So that was I felt that was a thick portion of this book in regard to her and him, even though we don't see him in the book. But as far as the Spider-Woman goes, I don't remember too much about her. I do remember that she showed up in the Secret Wars and that was her origin. Here she's just like John puts it, on the wrong side of the law. and so she's basically in the middle of something that she shouldn't be. And I mean, Spiral as well. Why is Spiral here?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is a character that I think spins out of the Long Shot miniseries, but now she's been in our series a few times and she's, working with Mystique and the Freedom Force. And yeah, definitely somebody who is clearly not thinking through her time on this planet now.
No. And she's powerful too.
Yeah, she's real powerful. Yeah. The part with Colossus and Rogue, I like where they explain how that energy web actually affects Spider-Woman. Is like, part of her, I guess. So when they yank it apart, she's feeling all that pain. So I like the way that that's connected.
Yeah. Good teamwork there. Good communication too. Just them looking at each other is pretty cool. They're like, hey, we can break this thing. Let's keep it going. And yeah, Bobby, no, that's a different Amanda. Amanda Hug and Kiss. You're thinking that's different. We're talking about Amanda Sefton here. Classic joke. All right. So yeah, the fight continues. The Freedom Force, some more of the team, basically now that they're free of this, they are looking at Spiral and, Spiral basically warning them saying, hey, our mission, we're here to put you under arrest. So she says, resist at your peril. And this triggers Rachel. I mean, she's already been on edge here, right? Just from this, last few pages even. But, the minute that she starts to think about the government taking over her, going to jail again, all these things kind of bring back this scary history of what she's lived in her own, life prior to this. And she says, there is no way that we're going to that because something like that, short journey turns into prisons to death camps and so on and so forth. She turns into Phoenix and she starts to go after Spiral, but Spiral immediately takes her down and kind of admires, just seeing Rachel. She's like, "Oh, this fiery girl here." Like she's talking about like the idea of like if I were to take her body and the using that rage that she has, all this stuff. But she's like, "But I'm here to play by the rules." So she apparently spares Rachel at this very moment. Meanwhile, you see Avalanche there hanging out with Spyro. They're talking about cleaning up the mess that they just made. Spyro takes the fire from the crash of the cars, vehicles, kind of having his enemy, his evil moment here of laughter. And Pyro plays with fire, folks, but never gets burned, he says. Not too shabby. Hey, Storm. And then he calls Storm out, right? Because he knows, they've battled before. He knows that Storm very much has powers opposite of his that could put his out, and kind of challenges her. And Storm, as she steps up, in her mind, she clearly knows, hey, I don't have powers. He doesn't know that, but I know that, and it is not good. It's not a good situation. However, it did start just raining. Kind of a coincidence that's a bit convenient, but as it rains, Storm decides, I'm going to play into this. I'm going to try to fake this the best I can and see if I can at least buy some time, which in fact it does work. And she does try to speak to Rachel via mind. At first, Rachel didn't answer, but then she finally does. And as she does, she uses her powers to lift Storm. So they're really selling the fact that Storm is now flying. There is pouring down rain, and Spyro is like, Pyro is like, oh shoot, this is not Maybe, even Avalanche is like, what are you going to do now? Like, what? And they're like, well,
Bright
they're
boy.
like, yeah, like Mystique is not here. That's their boss. Typically, they're nervous. And then, in the meantime, Rogue comes in to kind of interrupt because Rogue knows she got to do something because really Storm's only buying time. She steps in, tries to get tries to throw a fist, and Blob ends up stepping in the way. And that's where I kind of got, John, that vision of the cover a little bit. Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so Blob does his thing and Rogue goes flying. So it's not good. A little trickery here though, with Storm thinking on her feet and with the help of Rachel. Chet, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts here with some of these fight scenes?
How did Blob just show up?
Yeah, true. He's not usually a sneaky guy.
Well, we could go back a bit. I mean, where Rachel kind of loses it when she hears under arrest, and she just like full sprints it right into Spiral's trap, basically. She was angry. Once again, she's not thinking. She's just leading with the horns.
Yeah.
So, she gets her comeuppance on that. But Pyro, I mean, it always seems real easy to shut him up, even when somebody's not powered. In this case, he's doing a Phoenix thing, and Storm's like, I don't have power, so I really can't do anything about this. But look, the steam is creating a mist, and now it's raining. Let me play. Yeah, like you said, play into it. And Rachel helps her pull it off, makes it look a little bit more legit. But Spiral ends up realizing exactly what's going on. So I like the fact that was pointed out. If I may, though, if we go back to that page where Rachel starts booking after Spiral, I feel as John Romita, professional artist, could have been a little bit more elaborative on the panel before she is walked. So once again,
looks like she's jogging. There's not much detail.
No, her legs have absolutely not an ounce of shade in them, and the bird is looking like it just got out of the dryer. So, but other than that, I guess I could deal with the fight scene that's going on here because it gets a little bit more into it, and Storm's actually playing a part. The part with Blob smacking Rogue like through the building is quite telling. I like that a lot. But as this fight continues, I like the way it's orchestrated, not so much illustrated.
Yeah, agreed. John, what about you? Any thoughts you want to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I love the use of the fire and the rain, the way that the artwork kind of uses that as background, but also like it almost overshadows some of the characters in some of the panels. That stuff works for me really, really well. Yes, Jackson, you're correct. Spiral warps Blob right in at that moment. That's why he's able to kind of be sneaky.
I forgot her power set, to be honest.
Spiral can do everything, man. That's crazy.
She is pretty amazing. I love the negative space Storm panel next to your GIF there, where it's like a bunch of white coming out of her hair, basically, and it's purple right next to her face, but then it goes into white. Really kind of some cool stuff happening in some of those. And of course, the holding the arms out and flying. We're all waiting for the Storm to get her powers back. Sadly, a lot of waiting ahead of us, but it is nice to kind of see that little moment and get hyped on it.
Yeah, agreed. I seen fire and I seen rain. Yeah, that's right, Bobby.
Both on the same page.
Yeah.
Freedom Force, that Freddy.
Freedom Force.
Well, let's keep it going. So yeah, we have the fight continues. A lot more rain comes down as Rogue goes flying through. Spiral recognizes that even though Storm is flying and the rain is coming down, she says, I don't sense an energy aura about Storm. She said, could it be she's merely playing a part, pretending to be a star? And with that, she calls her bluff and takes Storm down. And scary because Storm is up so high at this point that she falls, and this fall very much could do her in. Luckily, Kitty Pryde is able to jump to the rescue there, use a lot of her abilities. Now, I have to say, this is some of my favorite parts here. Kitty Pryde, again, we've seen her walk on air. That was introduced very early, and there's been some cool ways of how they show that. But here she is again doing it, and she's able to grab Storm, as you see in this first page. Once she does, though, the weight of Storm kind of throws her off balance and pulls her down where they both are falling. But creatively, yet again, she allows them both, instead of hitting the ground and dying, they phase through the ground, and they even describe it almost as like swimming, like being underwater, and how she has to hold her breath. And she says, "I hope Storm's doing the same thing right now, because I can, at least so I can get us back up out of the ground here." I just thought that was a really cool panel. That middle page, even though small, it's still the concept of it, the idea of it, really, really cool and creative. Especially at this time, we're still learning a lot about Kitty and what she can do, what she's able to do. So that was convenient. In the meantime, you have Colossus, who hasn't stepped in yet. As Rogue was the one that went flying earlier, so he's the one that rips the fire hydrant and shoots it or directs it over at Pyro. And as that's going down, he gets blocked by Avalanche using his abilities to kind of protect or take out that water and cover him up in kind of this what do they call it? A land wave, yes, to bury him. And then on the far side there, you have the entire team kind of together at this point. And as they're assessing the situation, Blob, who again is very entertained with the idea that they're doing all these things, and he says the fact that we're heroes in all this, he goes, "You clowns are the crooks." And then as he does that, Colossus comes up from underneath, even though Blob can't be moved in the idea of his powers. Colossus proves that the ground beneath him can be. And so with his strength, he's able to pick him up at least high enough where Rogue can come by and swipe him. As you can see, she just chucks him, completely throws him. Now, this is the second time just in these last couple issues where Blob has made an appearance and then has either been bamfed or chucked super far from one of the X-Men. So I love to just point that out, that he's constantly kind of being thrown around. Anyways, and then you get a small glimpse of Jessica Drew there, kind of questioning what's going on, and recognizing that she's stealing our identity. We'll get into that a little bit more on the next page. But with that said, John, throw it back to you here. Any thoughts on Spiral calling out, Storm's bluff and or Kitty Pryde's actions?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun changes in power going on here as far as who's winning, who's losing, what's happening. I know I said that splash page at the beginning is the best page or panel in the whole book, but there's some great second place contenders here on these pages for me. Yep. That Spiral all yellow in the middle of this page right here, so cool. What a cool way to show how she's collecting energy from them and noticing Storm's lack of power. And there's something cool kind of about the way that's drawn. And of course, Chet's boy lifting up the blob there, that panel is stunning. In fact, if the lighting on the cover was more like the lighting I think that is on the actual drawing here, I would have been way more into it. The fact that it's almost like lightning or headlights off of a car that's shining on him underneath.
Yep.
And they do a version of the fastball special. They call it a highball.
Yes, good call.
He lifts them up, and then Rogue just chucks him. And to your point, there's no real way to be defeating the blob or same like the Juggernaut. You just got to huck them. Just they're somebody else's problem now. Right? Yes. The Golden Gate Bridge people can deal with him. So I like that move. It's very clever in the way that it's drawn. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well said. Chet, what about you? Anything to add here to these pages?
Okay, one, Spiral calling out the lack in power from Storm. Pretty intuitive and quick. Two, Kitty, once again. Kitty's Kitty Pryde, right? She's always on top of the game, seemingly, even back then. To be able to catch Storm, phase her through, get her to wherever there's air and space so she can, rematerialize. She's always on top of things. That's why we like Catherine Pryde. And then, of course, Colossus, who actually gets to step in here and move the blob on what doesn't look like half the size of concrete on the cover. And in this picture, John's right. The reflective light, even off his arms, his forearms, all the way down to his legs, even is submerged under the ground. It's a good set of panels there by Romita. I like how Rogue just says, okay, well, let's get him out of here. And the next panel you see is a couple of miles away by the Golden Gate Bridge. So everybody's doing their part right now and chipping in. X-Men like. And I got to say that Kitty, as young as she is, we've all seen it. She excels in these situations, and she becomes a really admirable like teammate leader in her career. And I didn't like her in the beginning, like when she first came along. I didn't like when they threw her in the danger room in 139. And I've had to eat my words for about 3 decades now because she's been pretty good.
I think you paid your you paid your dues.
I paid my dues. So yeah, I'll give Kitty her props. She's done a whole lot.
Yeah, well said. I mean, I'm with you there. She's certainly become one of my favorites, and it is cool to see how she's grown. Even just in this, I mean, technically short period of time. Obviously, the trip to Japan to me will always be, just the answer to knowing why, just how dangerous she is. And anybody who's never, read that, I tell them, like, you got to give that a shot because she is way deadlier than even they kind of even show off here. Even
Do you remember her after the Hellfire Gala?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
She puts that grenade inside that guy's chest.
Oh yeah.
She was a different animal after all that Japan stuff.
Yeah.
That was definitely a turning point for her, for sure. Great point, Justin.
What a great book. Hey, real quick, want to highlight Roy Kirk makes a good point here. He says, I'm the last one to defend JRJR, but I've always gotten the impression that Rachel, as Phoenix, radiates light, so there won't be any shadows on her. Yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
Be a little more definitive though.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we get to some more action here, as I pointed out before, that Jessica Drew was kind of calling out the new Spider-Woman, saying, "Who are you? Where'd you come from?" Kind of questioning that whole bit, and she basically tells her straight up, like, "Hey, I'm working with this Freedom Force, and she says I'm a federal officer. My colleagues and I are bringing the fugitive felons to justice, and that's all the explanation you're going to get, unless you'd like to join them in prison." And this is where, again, she kind of reveals that she's no match for her. She's vulnerable, more like Storm. She does not have her powers at this time. I have not read more from Jessica, from at least for this period of time, but I am curious a little bit more about that on a side note. But yeah, then we get the rest of the X-Men kind of getting back up, gathering themselves, because they're looking a little defeated here. We have Rogue that dashes back at Spiral, and then something happens here because obviously Rogue doing her powers, right, taking the abilities of the person she touches, but it backfires, and Spiral, as we are still learning about this character, has the ability, the power to overcome and take over Rogue and Rogue's body. And as you see in that middle panel, I was trying to like blow it up. It's odd because it's more long than tall, but it's so cool. You see the 6 arms come out, and yet it's Rogue. You can see the white in the hair, and she's straight up now taking control. It says usually Rogue's personality remains dominant, but this time it is different. As Spiral drops unconscious, Rogue howls like a lost soul. And then you hear this voice that comes out. I was giving it this dark voice, this silly girl. Spiral was born dancing through minds as through life, stolen from my hateful rightful form. I may be, but far from helpless. And then meanwhile, there is some chaos going on where there are people, just innocent people in the building still. You got to remember, there's still like an accident, from that wave that went on. And so Kitty has been sent, she's been thrown over, thanks to Colossus, to go
another fastball special.
And yes. And this time it's Lindsay, who it's so funny because Lindsay, they're like, "Well, how'd you get up here?" She's like, "Oh, my cat." She goes, "My cat was on the roof. You gotta save the cat during this battle scene."
Fair.
So priorities. I get meanwhile, your boy Colossus getting slammed to the ground by Rogue as everybody's confused. They're like, "This is not good." They've never seen Rogue get taken over like this before or lose control like this. So, and then on top of that, before Kitty can do anything, Spiral says, "Bid farewell, baby cat." to all 9 lives of your misforgotten lives. And before Kitty can react, she finds herself frozen in her tracks, her body phasing in place like an image simmered along a sheet of paper, almost to the point where part of her loses physical cohesion and dissipates into nothingness. I thought this panel
That's wild.
wicked. Yeah, I mean, this was
That's
still this was
wild.
some almost Bill Sienkiewicz kind
Yes.
of creativity there with her, her face being kind of shredded like that into nothing.
You know what it gives me vibes from it? I mean, you see if you guys remember this. Remember in the Matrix where they're showing Neo and it's like he's going in, they're going into the.
Yeah. Yep.
That's exactly what I get from that picture.
Totally. And then as the rest of the team's down, they're like, I don't believe it, Lindsay. The X-Men are beaten. As Jessica says, they said we won. They start cheering. Way to go for the Freedom Force. Clearly, they haven't won often, so to them, this is a really big deal. And Storm, as she's thinking what's going on with Rogue right now, they get interrupted by a police, squad of police here that are driving up to see what's going on. So, a lot happening in these pages. Chet, I'll throw it back over to you. What do you think of this Rogue? Doing what Rogue does, but then not having control the way she's used to.
We're used to seeing her steal people's powers and end up with their memories and all that, but in this case, it's kind of back asswards. It didn't work the way she wanted it to, so it's different. And I like the way it's kind of an original idea, if you ask me. It's like flips the script on what Rogue actually does, and it gave the opponent the power over her while she stole their memories and powers. So it was a good flip of switch, I like it. And when she comes back too, though, she's like, we got to run this back. Because, she's telling Spiral, we're going to get another chance at this. And Spiral's not backing down. So that gives you something to build up and look forward to again. So I do like the way Rogue played through this scene.
Yeah, absolutely. John, what about you? What were your thoughts with the artwork here between the shadow of this new Rogue and then also just the ripping face of Kitty Pryde?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it continues to use that like rain striations, those lines really, really well. That freaky six-armed Rogue looks so cool in shadow. I think Chad mentioned earlier that Ramita really does some cool stuff with shading and shadow. Mm-hmm. And then that Kitty Pryde like being sort of torn apart, but then immediately the next panel showing her just crumbling because this is happening internally, right? The drawing is giving us a sense of what's going on inside, and that's really a cool function to that look. But yeah, we got some exciting stuff as our team now. What we thought we had the advantage, and then instantly it takes taken out from under us when Rogue gets disabled, right? And that throws the whole team out of whack. Now Colossus is on his keister, and Kitty's being torn to shreds, and Storm's left going, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do. Do I punch her? Like, how's that going to do anything? Right?
What do I do? It's very true. I wanted to highlight Bobby saying, Chet, do that sound again.
I can't. Hold on. You see, it was a spur of the moment thing.
It was Chewbacca, gang.
Yeah.
You might have to go back and rewatch it.
Rewind. Yeah,
somebody clip it.
Yeah, we'll
put it on Chet's Instagram.
There you go.
That was a trippy scene, though, in the Matrix, and that's exactly that. Literally, on paper, is what I would picture it as.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's wrap up this issue then. We get to the end here, and so the police arrive, and we get this same Bree Morel who's stepping up and essentially breaks up this fight. And I love how right in the beginning they go, "Is this a?" She says, "Is this a private party?" Or no, she says, "Is this a private party, or may anyone join in?" And Rogue, Spiral Rogue just answers, "Private." And she says, tough. I'm Lieutenant Morel. We're the law, and you're in trouble. And so she essentially gives Rogue back her power, Spiral. She comes out of it, and what Chet mentioned earlier, she basically Rogue's ready to go at it for round 2 already. Jessica Drew has to step in the middle, be like, hey, knock it off. The police are here. Let's just, chill for a second. And she's like, all right, but next time it's like a, school fight, like, me and you next time, at the parking lot. And so, yeah, you get a little bit of, this Lieutenant Morrell asking them about what the heck is going on. Who are they? She says, I've never heard of you. And Spider-Woman's trying to explain, like, yeah, this is our assignment. And she goes, well, I never heard of you or your assignment. I assume you have a warrant. And Blob comes in. He's like, oh, we're feds. So we don't need one.
Where have we heard that before?
Yeah. And it says, guess again, Tubbo. The X-Men have committed no crimes in San Francisco. Quite on the contrary. They're civic heroes. On the other hand, Blob, you, Pyro, and Avalanche are posted felons. And he says, yeah, but we've been pardoned. Check with the White House.
Where have we heard that before?
They'll set you straight. And she says, fine, provide the appropriate document and we'll proceed from there. No other way. And so, of course, they do their kind of, evil villain sign off, and they disappear. I like Spiral doing this wave of fancy tricks as they disappear. And then we're just left with the X-Men. And again, the Lieutenant Morrell just talking about basically asking them. I was kind of rereading this, but yeah, essentially saying the city owes you a lot. I think this is where we balance those scales a little. Get my drift, Storm. When Freedom Force returns, Bree, we shall be long gone, Storm says. So they are agreeing to leave as they're packing up. Says, I wish we could stay to repair the damages to Jessica because her house was destroyed. But they do leave a check, which I know they have some money thanks to Professor X, the X-Men. And then after that, it's just back to Rachel, who is realizing that she almost died. This was a big deal for her. And then, of course, she says, I almost died, or worse, got hauled off into prison. I couldn't have endured that. I'd have done anything to escape, even taken my own life. These are some heavy words, right? Heavy words with where her mind is right now. And if she said, if worse had come to worse, I'd never have seen Scott or Madeline or my baby brother ever again. Rogue's right. Something's got to be confronted. So she's realizing now she needs to speak up. She needs to have this moment, this talk with Cyclops, the one that she's been dreading, the one that she's been hiding from all this time throughout us really knowing who Rachel is. So a big moment there for her, and some heavy thoughts that she's going through. Yeah. Meanwhile, random curveball that Claremont throws our way. San Francisco Memorial Hospital, the emergency room, trauma team on the double. And we get this orange-haired, green jacket girl who is bleeding, and all the description is from the doctors is multiple gunshot wounds, notify surgery, and the bloody bank. Who is she? No ID. List her as Jane Doe. It's a miracle she made it this far. She got a chance, Doc. We'll do our best, but I doubt she'll last the night. And goes into I just thought of Pitt, John. I know we watched that.
As you should.
Yeah, I should have put a gift for the Pitt there. And then the last page here, again, time hopping, kind of throwing us off a little bit, but it does finish off with Nightcrawler side of things. We saw Amanda Sefton where her mind was, her being on the plane, but meanwhile, you have Nightcrawler who's seeing off Judith Resendil, who we met 2 issues ago in 204. And I'll tell you, a lot of flirting going on. Nightcrawler kind of riding this fine line. He's living the life though, and even though while we find out that this Judith Resendel is this European queen, she is people are after her all the time. But she says she has sympathy for Nightcrawler. She says, I feel bad for you, even though people are coming after me, trying to every day people are trying to kill me, but I feel bad for you. And he says, he goes, why did she say that? Silly girl. I'm in my element. The beauteous damsel in distress to protect, arch villains to hunt down, confound and trounce, well nigh impossible odds to overcome, all by my lonesome. Sorry for me, Judith. Ridiculous. I couldn't be happier. As he tips his hat and she signs off to go in her own direction. Kind of a, I'm glad we got this moment. Even though it has nothing really to do with this book, again, these little seeds that Claremont continues to plant. But, that 204 was a full issue of what he was doing. That was a wild ride that we had with him and Judith. So it is nice to get another little glimpse as a follow-up to where they leave off before they split up. But anyways, that is how the issue ends. So a lot to kind of highlight at the end here. But so John, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts with how this, Lieutenant Morrell steps into play and calls them out, and then of course everything else that we get on these side stories.
So every once in a while, somebody will talk to me about why are you reading these 40-year-old books? Like there's no, connection to what's going on these days. And then you read something like this and you're just like, Julia Carpenter saying, I'm a federal officer. That's all you need to know. If you get in the way, I'm going to throw you in prison. I'm assuming you've got a warrant. We're feds. We don't need a warrant. We've been pardoned. Check with the White House. They'll set you straight. Well, then fine. I mean, I just, obviously this is fantasy, right? This is don't put your politics into my comic.
Wow.
But holy crap. We could tell who the bad guys were in this story. Julia Carpenter, look, you got to get your act together. Spider-Woman is an important costume to be wearing, and you're dragging it through the mud. Here, lady. This is why you didn't last very long, is what I'm really saying. You didn't own this costume and title for very long because of shenanigans like this. But that aside, this is when the book really kind of derails, is probably a too harsh a word, but definitely like stutters a bunch and stumbles.
Yeah.
I did not need the 3-time jumps here at the end. I get what you're setting up here. I get Claremont what you're trying to do here, but we already got the Amanda Sefton. I wonder if this relationship is still good. I don't know that we needed another Nightcrawler bit here at the end, and much less a full page of him flirting with royalty. I don't need too much of that, but it clearly seems like he banged her. I'm just going to say that. Second, I'm not going to spoil it for Justin, but the random woman in the hospital bit, I even had to go and look it up and remind myself, who the heck is this lady? And crap. Unnecessary. Maybe if that was the final page and just one little panel, maybe I would have been okay with it, because then you would have had a full other page for the main action here, and they wouldn't just have to say, hey, I know we trashed a very historic neighborhood in San Francisco, but we out. Here, let me write you a check. We're getting out. It feels a little rushed here at the end, and it could have had a little bit of a goodbye. Their time in San Francisco coming to an end. They totally trashed, Jessica's apartment. And
send me a check.
Yeah, I'll give you a check. It won't cover the hotel room you're gonna have for the next year while they're doing the construction work and you're getting permits.
Good luck with that.
Because Queen Anne, they mentioned it's a Queen Anne Row house. That section of San Francisco is very historic. It's an amazing section of San Francisco. So if you just trash 2 of the buildings in that street, it's gonna take a while to get those permits. I'm just gonna say. But that's what the Bruce Wayne Foundation comes in and does in Gotham all the time. So I guess the Charles Xavier Foundation can come through here in some way.
See, there you go. He's doing something.
I don't think the Charles Xavier Foundation has the Bruce Wayne money clip.
It does not have that heft. But I love Jackson Roy Kirk. Yeah, Storm can sign those checks. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the other side of the universe.
Yeah. I wanted to say a quick hello to our good friend Ryan. Magic Lasso just joining us. Says, sorry I'm late, people.
Right.
He says, people were voting for Jean Grey yesterday, and I couldn't find a therapist to deal with that until tonight. Is that the man? Yes, it is. It is Chet Knight, the man.
I'm not just a myth.
Sorry, Ryan. Yeah. I was fully confident that Wonder Woman was going to pull it through, so I had to still stick to my guns.
He guilted me into posting some Wonder Woman comics, but she had the damn thing locked up. I was not worried about Wonder Woman losing. You got to just worry about the day, Ryan, when Storm goes against Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's going to be a
house divided, man.
Yeah, cold day.
In a perfect world, Wonder Woman is Loretta Lynn.
John, so maybe.
Oh, that's bold.
Therapist. The rapist. It's therapist. My bad.
All right, so that's the issue. Let's get into final thoughts here.
Did Chet?
Sorry. Oh no, I didn't. Chet, let me throw it to you. Any give us your or as it, the way we wrapped up. Anything to add? Sorry to what John had mentioned.
No, no worries.
Yeah.
My grand synopsis of this book, it's a little better than a filler. It keeps you in line with what's going on. The Freedom Force is brand new, so we got an introduction to them. We got Lieutenant Morel, who doesn't seem to be very powerful unless she's presented with papers. Rachel, lots more to be seen when it comes to her. Rogue, we're starting to see some extent to her powers and who they can control or not. Amanda, I guess we won't be seeing her for a very long time, the way things are going. And lastly, Kurt, I think we could have skipped him in this issue. Yeah, Spiral. I mean, Spiral gives us a good display of power here in this book because we're not exactly sure what else she can do. So seeing this, we're getting a little bit of inkling here and there in regard to her. But I think this book, it just seemed, like you said, the time hopping, and it wasn't cohesive enough to get a high grade in terms of the way we rate things at the end, you know? So I'm going to wait till we get to that particular segment to give my overall pressed or non-pressed, signed or non-signed grade on this one.
Fair.
But overall, on a grand scale, I can say I like certain aspects of this book. Kitty, Spiral, Rachel, the finality with maybe Amanda and Kurt. I just think in certain cases, less could have been more. And in terms of the artwork, more could have been even more, you know?
Let me ask you this too, because I meant to throw this question at you as these last couple pages go. What did you think of Rachel and the way she's talking here? Talking about I mean, I guess this clearly is just pointing out just how bad things were in her own mind, right?
Yeah, well,
for her to say that she wants to take her own life, you know.
Did you read I gotta ask you this. There was a New Mutants, or it was either an X-Men issue. It was all about her with Ahab and how he was controlling her when she was one of the dogs. Yeah. Well, this is pretty much all she's talking about. She's talking about what she's been through and not having to go through it again. She would take her own life before she ended up having to be that type of a servant as a mutant again. And I guess slowly but surely it's being spilled out on these pages. It's not completely elaborate, but it's a rough sketch of what she's lived through. Yeah. So we're bound to see more. I don't think that annual actually came out just yet when this issue came out. I think later on when that annual came out, you get to see more of what she was put through. And that's pretty much how this is playing out in terms of the words coming out of her head. Gotcha. So in order to know more, you're going to just have to keep reading.
Wasn't Ahab, wasn't that with New Mutants?
I think that I know that there was a storyline in 195 where that's like her fully taking ownership of the title of Phoenix. And then the next issue has a lot of like memory time jumps and stuff where but I don't remember Ahab being in that one.
No, they may have shown like a silhouette of him in the back, but you never actually got his name yet.
Okay. Okay.
Like I said, just keep reading it. All that Rachel stuff and the dogs and the Phoenix dogs.
Yeah.
That it
keeps coming back for sure. Yeah.
I like let me scroll back here. Roy Kirk says, I think I'll go back and reread 205.
I get it.
So let's get the final grades here. John, final thoughts and how would you grade this book overall?
I mean, I definitely love some of the artwork here. I think there's some absolutely fantastic panels, and the JR weak panels are few and far between in this issue. They are definitely superior. The outfits are a riot. A new Kitty Pryde costume and hairstyle is just too priceless. The fight sequence at the beginning, great. If it didn't jump around so much and was able to take its time a little bit more, I think I would have really loved this issue. But as choppy as it felt for me, I'm probably going to go 7.5. I think 7.5 feels fair for me. And the cover definitely knocked a half a point off for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. Great. Chet, what about you? Where do you stand with your any other final thoughts and your grade for this issue?
All right, so if you know me, you know I'm always comparing these later issues to what I hold as the gold standard.
Sure.
Yeah, hate me about it. You know me for years. You know I've always been this way. But this to me is the candle's wick drowning in the wax. I mean, the cover doesn't do it for me. Obviously, yeah, there are some good points to this book, some cohesiveness, some well-explained things, but as John put it, it's like being in the time-hopping DeLorean, and you're just going too many places too fast. So John said 7.5. The cover takes away a point for him. He's still a half a point for him. So I'm going to go with 6.5 because the cover took away a full point for me. Other than that, again, it's too choppy for me to fully feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have the same structure or, you know, just build up the way the old stuff used to. So we just keep moving along until it does. So that's mi dos centavos.
Fair. I have to say I enjoyed this issue a little more, I think, than you guys did overall. I think that one, I kind of appreciated that for the most part, the X-Men got their butts kicked, and like, you know, like you don't want to always just have them be the good guys
heroes on top,
and it's easy. Yeah, you know, you want to see a challenge, and especially like there's only so many times that Blob and all those guys can be the losers, right? I mean, like they have significant powers, you know, and I don't know. Again, Spiral is very new to me, but man, I mean, we'll get into the MVP section later, but like certainly a very, very powerful mutant who I'm curious where I don't know her story. I don't know where she comes from or where
long shot Mojo.
Yeah, oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So maybe, you know, we'll get into that down the road, but even for the modern stuff, I don't know Spiral. So it's just,
have you guys, I don't know for certain. I've been missing here and there. Have you guys gotten into the long shot 1 through 6 yet?
No, that comes up in May. I think we read the 6 issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those were really good issues, to be honest.
Episodes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I look forward to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for those moments of what some of these characters are going through. And I love seeing kind of the slight back and forth between Kitty and Storm with her outfit. Kitty Pryde still doing some kid-like fun stuff, going out to see Lila Cheney. We got to, you know, even though if Lila was in this, man, it would just be up there even higher. But you know, nonetheless, we still get that little fun scene again, like the non-superhero stuff, right? We get to see Jessica Drew, Lindsay McCabe, who I'm not as familiar with Lindsay, but Jessica certainly am. I like the bluffing that Storm does with the help of Rachel. I don't know. I think there's a lot of really cool gems in this. Even again, I appreciate the struggles that we constantly see with Rachel. I think Rachel, I'll tell you, I wasn't like the biggest fan of Rachel as when we first got introduced to her. And I just thought that she was just this extra character trying to fill the void of, you know, that position that we no longer have. Yeah. And I'm like caring for her more and more as we go through with this. So that speaks volumes to me. And it's stories like this that really connect me with her. And she certainly is the losing character in a lot of these issues. She is not on top. She is not happy. She is not, you know, she's going through it. So still very much tied to what happens with her.
Well, then I'm very excited for you to read the next issue.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
That's mainly just a Rachel comic.
All right, cool. So yeah, I hear you guys on the hopping around, and at this point, I mean, I kind of just go with it with Claremont, knowing that that's just his vibe. It wasn't enough to bother me in knocking the issue down in any way. But anyways, long story short, I'm going to give this an 8.5. That's where I'm at with this. And I wanted to highlight. So Bobby gives it a 9.6 with Spider-Woman white pages. I love to see it.
He's killing it in the chat tonight. He is slaying me.
So now let's see if the X-Men can go home to New York. I mean, will all the TSA problems? Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Been a lot of issues there traveling. I could use an extra set of hands around the house. Yeah, Ryan, I hear you.
All the spiral arms. Yes.
Yes. Even Washington General one wants. Washington Generals one wants. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. I'd rather go to a Dazzler. Fair. That's fair. I mean, you're not wrong, right? But I do like some Lila Cheney. Anyways, let's keep this going here. So key elements. I didn't have much here, guys. It is the second appearance of Judith Resendale, Queen of Ruritania.
There are 2 99s.
There are 2 99s out there. I just assume Chet owns both of them.
Correct.
There are 223.
I must have about 6 or 7 copies of this book, dead ass raw.
Yeah.
With the Spider-Man in the corner and no newsstand.
There you go. Hey, fair market value, $60 for this is a 9.8. I don't think any of us are buying this graded, but I
may have copies to give away at the end of the year, so I'll let you guys know.
There you go. Any thoughts on the numbers here, guys, or anything you wanted to comment on?
Don't buy this book slabbed. It's just stupid money.
Yeah.
Get that 9.0 for $12.
That's right. Yeah.
Go hard Mylar in this one, guys.
Yes.
Lord Almighty.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, we are flying here tonight.
Oh,
I might even allow you guys to take this out of the bag in the board and turn it with your own fingers. And you've never heard me say that.
No, that says a lot there, Chet.
Never.
Please delete that footage.
Yeah. Bobby says Rachel Dinners finally gets her dessert.
There it is.
All right, let's see. So we have one other segment, Chet, that we like to highlight. That's a bit newer to the show. But we always talk about MVPs. We like to talk who could be the MVP of this particular episode. I tried to put a couple of screenshots in, but I couldn't fit everybody. There are a lot of characters in this one. But generally, who do you think was the most important, player amongst all the good and bad that we've seen here? John, I will start with you. Did you have an MVP of?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. And other than Rachel's phenomenal Punky Brewster pants, it is absolutely Lieutenant Morrell up in the corner there.
Hey.
Look, gang, the whole team is on its way to some crazy detention center if it weren't for her. Or maybe Storm is already pre-arrested on the corner for being black in a street fight. Like that's all it is. So if it weren't for Lieutenant Morrell, this would be a very different comic book. And I think she is owed all the respect for being a law enforcement agent with a very high bar of honor and wanting to get things right in her profession. So shout out to her because she does the badge right in this comic.
Yep. It was just about to get sloppy before she showed up. And she literally drew the line, stopped it all, and put people in their place and told them what was needed before they could continue that little set of circumstances. So
she stands in front of the Blob, Pyro, Spiral, Spider-Woman, and Avalanche and says, "Get stepping," and they do. She's got no.
She says, "We're the law. You're in trouble." That's just it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
English.
many people could do that.
So yeah, you got my nod of approval for John's choice in MVP because it's apparent that's who it was by the end of this book.
Yeah, well said. So is that yours too, Chet? Is that
yeah.
Okay.
This might be the first time I agree with John, maybe twice.
Wow, look at that. I'm gonna go and give it a Spiral. I thought she had this whole thing in the bag. Like the X-Men were not ready for her whatsoever. And that's a little concerning. There's still a lot of learning that the X-Men have. Now, granted, they didn't have the entire team, but still, you'd think they wouldn't get caught off guard like this quite so much. And Spiral, I mean, this is technically not their first time bumping into her. So just something interesting to see with her. I was very I thought she was really badass.
Good choice because you don't really know too much about her, but you got a nice set of reveals in regard to her in this book.
Yeah, even like her magic power, mind powers, or whatever it was. Like she's got other, not just strength, but Tony says MVP is the redhead with the bloody nose. Oh, talking about the one in the pit there. Yeah. MVP Kitty for the X-Men Spiral for Freedom Force. Well said, Boggy. Let's see. Adam says, I'm looking at the drawing style difference between Kitty and Pyro. Is that even the same artist? Yeah, no, that's a good point. So that stood out to me, actually, that Pyro panel, the detail was like very different. I don't know, if that was more Dan Green or I don't know. They just took a little more time to do certain things with that. I'm not sure, but that's a good call.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's
Gordon
right. I'm
McGall.
looking at that panel now.
Yeah, definitely different.
You know what
Gordon McGall,
makes me think
MVP.
it's the same artist? If you look at the rain through the uniform on both of them, it's creating like a lighter hue. So maybe that might be giving it away as to one artist doing both faces. I don't know.
Sure,
That's
sure.
just a
Could
quick
be.
observation.
Yeah, for sure. Gore says MVP is Scott Summers every day and night, he says.
John, put that hand down.
It's so interesting.
Slap
reaction from the
it.
panels.
Just absolutely slap it.
Talk to the left because it ain't right.
Let's see. Kurt says, Jackson says MVP. Kurt, love him and leave him. Nightcrawler. Kurt, love
Have
him,
you been reading Kurt these days? With a certain while he was Spider-Man, I believe.
Oh, the stuff with Mystique?
No, the Silver Sable.
Oh, Silver Sable. Oh yeah, yeah.
No.
He liked the Silver Fox.
All right, let's we'll get to our, I think that's that's a hair. We'll get to our questions here. Don't go away, folks, hanging out in the chat. We got 4 questions tonight, and as always, we are looking for 2 correct answers as we read them out. If you know it, put it in the chat. If you don't know it, but you think someone else put the right answer, copy and paste them, because you could be the second person to get it correct. Otherwise, if you don't know it and you want to have some fun, give us your best incorrect answer, something that'll make Chet laugh, because it'll be Chet's job tonight to choose the funniest answer or the one he likes most out of all those incorrect answers per question. So,
I have a twisted sense of humor, so
yeah. Figure it out. You guys got to play to his humor. John, I'll kick it off with your first question.
Sure. Last issue was 205. We had Katie Powers and Wolverine and a lot of exciting stuff going on with Barry Windsor Smith on artwork. So my first question is, what new power did we decide that Katie Powers demonstrates in the issue? Katie Powers does lots of things that maybe we were not aware that she could do, but one of them we commented on was pretty darn impressive. What is a new superpower for Katie Powers?
It's so funny that it's so funny that they have Katie. It's funny that they created Katie Powers, and her character is essentially like the new Kitty Pryde, and I just think that they went from Kitty Pryde to Katie Powers. Like, it's very close. Katie and
the pride and the power.
Katie, like, come on, couldn't you give her a completely different name at least? I don't know.
Right.
Sorry, John, you want to repeat the question one more time there?
Yeah. What is a new superpower that Katie Powers demonstrates? Room for comedy here, folks. What do you think Katie Powers can do now? What new ability does Katie Powers have?
Bit of a layup.
So far, kind of cricket noises out there in the chat world. Squeak,
catching a text, says Tony.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a long descriptive answer that
crickets. Just people are typing essays, I guess. I don't know. Cricket sounds. I'm falling asleep. I don't even remember. It says, but Candace, be funny. Too much pressure, says Bobby. You were hilarious all night, Bobby. Come on.
Yeah, Bobby, you have all these witty answers.
Candace's answer, not a very memorable one. I don't even remember.
She has a recipe to make Rachel dinners. Using the Ready Bake oven. Oh, I think it's Easy Bake, but good try. Good try, Tony.
Hey, for effort for Tony.
At least now you guys are in the spirit now. We got it. We're moving. I thought this was a layup game.
Yeah. I don't know.
My next question's not as funny setup as this one was. So far, kind of quiet. I will say Tony's first answer, gang, was the correct answer. She catches a taxi in New York in a blizzard on the fly. So Tony gets the only correct answer. Yeah. And she's towing a half-naked, bloody Wolverine, and the guy still stops to pick him up.
Now I remember it. Yeah, that's right.
So I'll give. Oh, and Lasso pops in. I'll give the other one a Lasso. Why not? He made it. He slept late. So there you go. There's the 2 correct answers. Any that we like, funny-wise, there, Chet? Anything we got to give out?
Let me see. Hold on. I can't call Katie easy. She's just. Whew. That's going. Hey, listen, we live in a weird day and age. Can't say that using a ready bake oven. We'll hold on. I'm sure a lot of New Yorkers can do that too. Yeah, but Candace, in that blizzard, there's usually got to be a little bit of leg showing. So she could make
And
that sound.
Wolverine has a lot of legs showing in the issue, so maybe that was it.
So yeah, Candace gets the answer. Then she goes, she just proved me wrong.
All right.
There you go, Candace.
There you go. Candace on the board.
Congrats, girl.
All right. My first question of the evening: what was the name of the place that created cyborgs? Where this whole issue was a fight between Wolverine and some cyborgs, and it started out with them and kind of being recreated to be cyborgs in the first place because they were just human beings. What was the name of the place? There was a sign, even.
Yeah, I think it was the title of the issue, if I'm not mistaken.
Whalen Utani.
Yeah. You have a whole setup here. I think this is a layup for funny answers. Pick a couple of funny answers here. Don't forget, guys. Chet is a huge Met fan. If you want to throw some jokes out.
Bobby's
I'm
back.
gonna show them the blade. I'm gonna cut your tongue out with Justin.
Bobby is back.
Epstein Evil Island.
There it is.
Radio Shack, says Tony. The Droid Depot.
Droid Depot.
I think you got at least two correct answers there. Do you want to pick your winners?
The Supreme Cyborg shot by D. Ross. Yeah, so I was going to say it didn't count, but I forgot that's not Chet, so spelling doesn't matter. Adam, the Body Shop.
Yes, what the reputation holds.
Magic Lasso, the Body Shop. That also is.
What about right above? Tony said Body Shop.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, I'm sorry.
So I think it's Tony
right.
and Adam.
Sorry. Yes, Tony and Adam. Sorry, Ryan. I had missed Tony.
Get you, Ryan.
Totally blanked on Tony there. Good call, John. All right, so Adam and Tony are the correct ones. Chet, any of these that you'd like to choose as a funny answer? Candace's cyborgs are us. That's a good one too.
That's a good one. Let's see. Hold on.
I do like that Tony misspelled Shack. It's almost like he knows our guest is here tonight.
I think
he wrote Radio Shake.
I can't repeat Bobby's answer, but I think I like his answer.
There you go, Bobby.
On the board.
Well played, sir.
All right, John. What's your next question?
Wolverine is struggling to remember who he is. He's struggling to remember what's going on. He's kind of in a stupor as he's running through the most part of this issue. How does Barry Windsor Smith, the artist, show us that Wolverine has regained his thinking and has regained his thought process? What does the artist Barry Windsor Smith do to show us Wolverine is normal again?
Ooh.
Could be a lot of comedy here, but I'm looking for one thing in particular that we highlighted and that happens when Wolverine is himself again.
Jackson, right?
He may have him make a sandwich, says Tony.
Yes.
He does howl at one point.
Yeah, he did.
Magic Lasso, you're not wrong, but that's not what it is. And he does start speaking English. I would argue that's something that Claremont does to show you that he's regained himself. But
I know the answer, but I can't say it.
Well, there's been one correct answer already. So I saw one for sure. He asks for a smoke.
He can't speak in complete sentences.
That's good.
He gets Stan to sign books and send them to CGC for Chet. Oh, Ryan.
Clever.
Yeah, very clever. Bobby says he started singing in a Diana Ross song.
Oh my goodness.
Tony. Nice. Tony with a Tony answer right there.
Tony giving us his itinerary into the weekend.
He got mad.
Tony's back strong, and he's gotten a lot of points tonight, including the only correct answer so far. I haven't seen anybody copy and paste Tony, but apparently tonight's the night you should have done that.
Do another second.
I think I know the answer you're looking for, but I can't say it until after the question's over, and I think I'm going to see if I'm right.
And there's the second one from Magic Lasso.
There you go. Brown eyes.
His red eyes turn brown again.
Yeah.
He calls Katie a frail. Jackson Roy Kirk.
Jackson Roy Kirk gets that funny point, by the way.
That's the funny point. All right, there you go.
Roy Kirk.
Call Katie a friend.
Coming in strong. Yes.
Nicely done.
That's what we do to Katie Powers.
All right, last question of the evening. I think this is both a layup and just an easy answer. What did I call this type of issue after I discovered some of the background themes of the book? I said that this was a certain type of issue. What was the description? What did I say that this issue was in particular? For those who know me, know that I am a big fan of said themed issue. So I guess it's a dangerous layup because there could be some pretty embarrassing things that people can say.
Well, Tony says he called it a daddy issue.
He called it a daddy issue. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Vote for Gene and not Diane. Brian is never going to forgive me. He's never.
I mean, something.
Here's the. All right, so we have the correct answer here. Ryan Magic Lasso. Yes, it was a Christmas issue. Uncanny X-Men 205 Christmas issue. I will forever be posting that in December from here to the rest of my days. And yes, Candace is the other one that I have for correct answers. Christmas issue, not Hanukkah issue, but I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, it certainly could be. But what I was saying was not that. Kwanzaa issue. Bobby's also saying Festivus for the rest of us issue. Yes. Anything that yes, I know, but I know, Tony, I agree. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm saying it was a Christmas issue. Rewind.
Rewind.
I don't know what he's saying there. Oh,
yeah.
John, you've hung out long enough with him to know how to speak.
I can read Tony now.
How to communicate.
I've achieved a new language. I feel like Doug.
Where's my funny answers?
Ryan says, whatever happened to Brandon issue?
Oh,
Brandon should
back.
he's back. He's been posting a lot of books.
I've been messaging him. He's been working still, he says, but he's actually overcome a lot of good stuff, and he's back on track. He's doing well. I speak to him all the time. Nice. He and I are actually doing a road trip next week for Bryce's wedding. Nice. So we have to go to Wisconsin next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there is nothing out there, just so you know. I've been there. Nothing.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I'll be fine. But it should be cool. You guys should get Brandon back on. I'll be honest with you that as far as readers go and knowledge, I've been reading a lot longer than him. John, I know you've been reading a lot longer than him. It's amazing what he actually knows.
Yeah.
So
he's a diehard X-Men fan. No, we appreciate that. You couldn't see it in the blizzard, but there was a casino involved, says Candace. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I look close enough, it was there. Let's see. Thanks to me, I brought Christmas issues back. Thank you, Boggy. Let's see. Scrolling through. John. Ryan says, "Me, John. Why you never wear the shirt I got you, John? You got me a shirt.
I'm wearing it tonight. I'm wearing it.
I forget. It's. I think we're landing in Milwaukee and also hoteling in Milwaukee. We're not too far. We're like 20 minutes from the actual place, so I don't know the place very well. When I get a chance, I'll text you where we're going.
A very special after school issue, Adam says. Any funny answers here, Chet?
After school issue.
Going with Adam, all right?
Yeah. That's a good one.
There you go. On the
brings
board
back memories.
Adam. Nice. All right, that's it. We got our questions in. Want to thank Chet first and foremost, dude. Thanks as always for being back on the show each and every year. We appreciate you. Appreciate you tuning in the chat and the rewinds and everything else that you do with our crew here.
I appreciate being here, guys. Thanks again. It's been a while. You figure, I mean, it's been 6-7 years of Omni X-Men?
Yeah. 6 years. Yeah.
6 years. Yeah. Wrapping up 6 this season.
Time flies.
Well, I celebrate another birthday coming up on Saturday, so this is a good prelude to it. I like doing these shows with you guys. It's been a pleasure as usual, and I can't wait to be back again. Hopefully, in less sporadic instances and a whole lot more frequency because it's the X-Men. When you get to Jim Lee, I want at least 5 issues.
He's locking it in now. He's locking it in now. Yeah, happy birthday to Chet coming up this Saturday.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks again,
Cheers.
everybody. Reminder, if you're not following the man, Chet Knight, make sure you do so. I put his link in the description. Chet, I will be calling you, and if not, John will be calling you in a few days because we need your help to post some Storm books. And
I will do my best. Storm books?
Yes,
Storm books are pretty easy to. I just got to be around them. I'm going to show them the blade. So
take the pictures tonight, and then you'll have them ready.
Yeah, if you do it ahead of time.
Here you go, guys. This is one of my friends.
Yeah, this thing is wild. Look at that.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah, that's wicked, dude.
So yeah, I just wanted to show it off. I've had it for about 20 years. I haven't had to use it yet, but I think that time may be coming.
Oh, whoever the poor soul is, brutal.
And if you can lift it, you're obviously worthy.
Ryan says, me, Justin, I need your help. Post some Wonder Woman books. Justin, new phone. Who this? Yes.
Priorities.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the chat. Y'all have been great. Y'all are always great. We got 11 people hanging out right now.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you guys all in the chat again. It's a good memory kick.
Yeah.
Miss you guys all, man. Can't wait to get back on. You should start doing like team up X-Men stuff, like get 2 of us on at the same time, because I would love to do a show with Ryan as well.
That's dangerous. We'll be streaming 4 or 5 hour nights.
Well, how long is this one? How long have we been on now?
We're
almost 2 hours.
I'm happy because it feels like that's substantial.
Well, hey, you're right. I mean, look, this is an evening, right? This is what we like. We like to, we took this time to read it. We want to hash out the details, so we appreciate that everybody does these in these longer.
You should get Zack Snyder to produce this, so this way it's 4 hours.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's the plan. Last reminder: make sure you're followed up to John as well, because we will be back over on his channel next week, Tuesday, 9:00 Eastern. As always, after that, we do have a little break, but we'll give you the details afterwards in a week or two. But yeah, we'll be breaking down 207, which I already know the cover. I'm excited to get into this book. I never read it.
It's a good book.
So yeah, looking forward to it. Otherwise, gang, smash the like button on the way out. We appreciate the support. Go enjoy some baseball at the end of starting tomorrow. Be ready, all you sports ballers. But until next time, we'll